Welcome to the Author to Authority podcast. And today I am so thrilled because we have Claudine Pereira back with us today. And if you didn't hear her first episode, if you scan back through the year, I think it was the summer we had you on. But it was such a powerful interview that I just felt recently like we've got to have her back again, especially what we see going on with entrepreneurs right now as we start to close out 2020 and go into 2021. So welcome back, Claudine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kim. I'm so excited to be back here again today. Second time this year. Such a blessing. Thank you so much.
So this time we're going to talk about how to keep your business open in 2021. So first of all, to all of you entrepreneurs who have managed to keep your business going in 2020, we want to give you a big high five, a congratulations.
Yeah, exactly.
You are in the top of the top because so many businesses have closed this year. So, if you've done that, kudos to you. But we're not through this yet. In fact, things are getting worse again. Yes. So that was also one of the reasons why I wanted to have Claudine back, to help get you ready for 2021 and to be able to go into it strong and stay strong through the year. So first of all, Claudine, for people who didn't hear your first interview, why don't you take a few moments and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your story?
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you again for having me, Kim. So my business is the Pink Coach, and contrary to when a lot of people hear that I'm not a fitness trainer, although I'm very heavily into fitness, mind you, being in business these days is like a workout and a marathon. So I suppose the two do tie in. This is year 7 for me in business. And I come from an extensive corporate background, spent 20 years in corporate coaching and training and motivating very large teams. And, one of the things that, I really love about my corporate background is I've been able to implement a lot of the learning and things that I did over the years on the disaster recovery team, for example, with businesses this year in order to keep their doors open. So it has been a real blessing to have that experience and to really be able to utilize it this year with entrepreneurs and small businesses in terms of keeping their doors open.
Mm-hmm. So why did you decide to become a coach?
So it was funny, during my corporate career, we were not physically named coaches, but that's really in essence what we were. And so it was one of those things that, after when you exit stage left from a job, you really look back and go, wow, wait a minute, what was I really doing? Mm-hmm. And for me, it was always about the people. And in my role, in all of the roles I had across the organization, the people always came first, and striving for results and coaching and motivating and training them. So becoming a coach at the Pink Coach was just really a natural progression out of corporate into doing this really under my own steam and my own gig. And to me, someone said to me the other day, what is success to you? And success to me is really seeing the efforts of my clients and them keeping their businesses open and their results. That's success to me. And that's the beauty about coaching. Yes. It's really leading and training and motivating and leading somebody to maybe perhaps where they're not sure where to go, or they don't want to go, and trying to encourage them and really help them and be that accountability partner for them. So it is my joy and passion. I wake up with a spring in my step every single day. People can't believe how happy I am. But this, the coaching business is just, I think, growing now more than ever, especially for small business. When we see a lot of big businesses closing their doors, retail, this is something that's very, very controllable for all of us. So I'm even more excited for the coaching future.
Cool. So because you've transitioned out of corporate into entrepreneur, here's a question that I like to ask, because we do have a lot of people who, have either done that or, want to do that. So what would you say has been the hardest thing transitioning between the two, from a salaried job to, being an entrepreneur and kind of having to do everything yourself?
Yeah, and I love this question, and actually thank you for asking, because it's twofold. And I've worked with some clients right now that are actually, they have day jobs, they are in a corporate careers that are looking to transition into their own dog and pony show in their own business. And so this is a critical piece that I talk about in their sessions, in terms of, before you pull that plug on your corporate career, here's some things to think about in the first year of, when you get into business, of what this feels like. And I think number one, the first thing that hit me was the loneliness. And the loneliness of, I was around, I had 150 indirect reports in my last role at the bank. And suddenly you go from that to being at home. And at that time, my office was in my house. And so I would sit there some days going, I'm so free. I'm doing my own thing here. Why me figuring out about networking? It was just that loneliness of being by myself, and then sort of branching into networking and meeting other entrepreneurs really helped that. So loneliness was the first thing. And then the second thing obviously was the money, because especially in the first couple of years, right, you as you said, you go from salary to like zero, and you're not making an income in that first year. So it's hard to remain hopeful that is this ever going to happen? Am I ever going to regain this money that I had before? Where is that going to come from? So I think those two things are the hardest thing. It's a lonely sport, being in business by yourself, and the finances. But that's where, right from the get-go, I had a coach, and I would say that I wouldn't be where I was today without several of them, and my current coach right now, in terms of having that strategic plan when you're selling, and focusing on your finances. You have to do the same thing as any big business would. So we tend to take our eyes off of it as entrepreneurs because we don't want to look at the finances, but it's imperative, especially now more than ever, that we do that. So I love this question.
So we're going to transition here, because I know you've got lots to share, and I want to give you plenty time to do that. So first, let me just ask you one question to kind of set the stage. What would be the biggest thing that you see right now with entrepreneurs that they're doing that, would give warning signs that maybe they're in trouble?
Yeah, so I would say not showing up. If your business is not doing well right now, you're not alone. There are a lot of businesses that are not doing well. And you can choose to handle that sort of in two ways. And I've seen people that just go away, they throw their head in the sand and throw their hands up in the air going, this is not working, I'm not making business right now. But my message to you in that is that you'll have to restart right from scratch if you choose that route. And I'm seeing a lot of that in industries that have been really hard hit, in terms of not showing up and sort of fading into the background and thinking you don't have a business and giving up just because perhaps sales are not there right now. And it's one of the things that it's the quickest killer. Yes, of course, we're not downplaying the fact that perhaps these businesses have not been impacted, but there are things that you can do to keep that momentum and the brand going, versus running away and hiding, which I know is our natural reaction that we all want to do that. Trust me, I did it first. When March 16th, when everything hit, I ran for a whole day and I sat there going, what is going to happen here? Yeah. But very quickly, you got to pull your head out of the sand and start to focus on, a plan of move forward. So that's one of the things I'm seeing right now. The people that are perhaps not doing as well, they're shying away from it. They're shying away from networking, shying away from being seen, and continuing to promote themselves.
Yeah, and I think here's the thing. So there's two sides to that. The people who aren't shying away, they're the ones that are going to benefit.
Right.
This is your time to shine. Now, I actually had the opposite kind of happen. 2019 had been rough, came into 2020, with a game plan, but I knew it was probably going to take about 90 days to build momentum again. Because by the end of 2019, just because of some very unique circumstances, I had hit the end with basically kind of the business had flatlined. I didn't have anything new coming in. We were just finishing up what we had. So I knew, it was going to take probably 2 to 3 months to just kind of really get things going. Like I was able to get sales in January and February, but not a lot, but it was enough, right?
Right.
But I was building for March. And then March hit, and For me, it was the complete opposite of everybody else. Everybody else's business, mine, everybody went, I'm at home, I want to write a book.
Yeah, exactly. So ding ding.
I've been thinking about writing a book, and all of a sudden, like, my phone's ringing off the hook, right?
Perfect. So, yeah.
But the thing is that you have to keep shining.
Absolutely. And what I love about what you said is that 90-day window, everything that you do now, you will see the benefits of in 90 days. Yes. So if you decide to close your business in December and take the whole month off, hey, fair enough. But just be prepared that come January, February, you need to restart. But everything that you do now has a snowball effect. So yes, I encourage everybody as business owners, you must take time off and time to regroup and refresh and rest and recover. However, you don't want to take your foot off of the gas pedal too much, because we want to keep that momentum going. You want to stay top of mind and be seen. And everything that you do now, again, will pay off, as you were saying, in that 90-day window. It's like a rocket ship. Once you're there and the momentum is there, whether you're getting business in or not, you got to keep shining. Yes. Like, look at all the ads you keep seeing for places that are actually closed. I mean, I'm in downtown Toronto and we're in lockdown. However, businesses are still advertising. The restaurants are still advertising. They know that one day things are going to come back, and they want to be top of mind.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing, like, I shut down for a good 2 weeks at Christmas. And this year I am shutting down completely. Nice. Right? Haven't really taken much of a break this year because everything was moving so fast and I had to adjust and pivot. And so 2 weeks at Christmas. But what I was doing November right through till the break is I'm already building business for the new year. So, I'm getting people, getting their deposits, getting their outlines done so that we can hit the ball running in January, and so that I have business now in January and February, and then come back the beginning of the year. And I'm going to be releasing my book in January. So there's all that going on too.
Yay. Excellent. Can't wait.
But, I think, what you said is important is you have to seed for the future.
Yeah, exactly. And just as you said there, you're filling your sales funnel looking forward. And we tend to, I see this with business owners, and this is another sort of trap, is that, because we are in that, oh my gosh, I need that sale. You go onto a networking event and someone is expecting to get a sale right away. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not the case. You've got to build your sales funnel. You have to have some kind of it's about really planting those seeds for the future, not just about the immediate sale. And that's where that forward thinking, it's really about forward thinking, not just about the immediate.
Well, the thing is too, is that, you can't just go to a networking meeting and get sales. Oh, well, okay. I guess it depends what you're selling. If there's something,
it's true.
Then something $10-$20, whatever, you could probably go and sell something. But, if you're in coaching or, you're selling higher end products, you're not going to go to an event one time, meet a bunch of new people and sell something.
Exactly.
I can't say it hasn't happened. To be honest, I have done it, but that is not the norm. That is that's the unusual, right?
It's about building the relationship. It's building that customer experience, that, the professionalism, the brand that your business stands for, and getting to know people. And, sales come from that relationship building. Sales is service, basically. Yeah.
I totally agree. So I'm going to let you loose for a few minutes because I know you have some other things to share as well, and then we'll talk about it.
Sure. So just a few points, to sort of move you and get you thinking about 2021. And for myself, I'm planning for 2021 and 2022. And, I call it focus on the future. And it all starts with a vision. So really, when you sit down to relook at the plans you had for 2020 and how your 2020 turned out, what does 2021 look like for you? If you fast forward a year from now, what do you want 2021 to have looked like? And pretending that anything is possible. We sort of push crisis aside for now and pretend that anything is possible. What are some of the things that you would like to work on, or perhaps some new things that you'd like to bring to the table in 2021? And I'll just sort of caveat with this is that I want you to be a little uncomfortable. You know, nothing comes from being comfortable with anything. And I think that that's one thing, if one thing that these 9 months has taught us, that it is okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to, you know, continue to dream big, but there's this discomfort. Because to me, that's when the best work happens. That's when we get fired up, when we step outside of the confines of the box. So as you sort of move forward, take a look at your plans and put them into 90-day chunks. So look at your whole vision for the entire year. Let's say you want to sell a number of units of a product, or you'd like to sell something. What does that look like in terms of numbers? So always put numbers behind anything that you want to create vision wise. You remember we talked before about looking at your numbers. It's imperative now more than ever that as entrepreneurs, we know our numbers. We're looking at our numbers. We're trying to plan and forecast as much as possible. You know, one of the things I say is vague planning equals vague results. So make it as specific as you can by putting numbers behind the vision and some of the things that you would like to set up. Show up. That's the other thing I would say to you. If you do anything, wake up from that slumber party, show up and be, you know, ready to work and ready to showcase your business. You know, based on a lot of the things I've been listening to about the economy and, you know, from past recessions when we've come out of these types of things, the businesses that are professional, that show leadership, are the ones that are going to do the best going into 2021. Yes. So really think about that professional image, how you're showing up, and being able to stay top of mind. And being a leader in business is going to be really key next year as we go into this. You know, and I'll use an example of General Rick Hillier, who the government has just chosen to lead the vaccine. If you look at it on YouTube and you look up General Rick Hillier, he goes out and speaks about leadership. And he has an incredible story. Go check it out. And so what's happened is because he's always shown that leadership in his role and his speaking, guess what? He's been plucked, handpicked to lead this such an important piece. So leadership and professionalism, showing up, you know, be going as hard as it is to network online, do it anyway. It's going to really, really help to, you know, bring new relationships in, whether they're going to turn into sales or they could be a circle of influence to get you in front of your ideal client.
I liked what you talked about with numbers, and I think something that's important too, and I've had to transition. One of the big transitions this year was I am not working in my business as much. So I bring on a lot of new staff, sending out more things, you know, having my team be responsible for more things. And when I started to look at my numbers, I realized that now my profits are not what they were because I'm not doing these things anymore.
Got it.
So, you know, in looking at those numbers, it's like, okay, I now need to raise my prices.
Yes.
So that I'm still making the same profit, but I can, you know, pay everybody to do those things. So I can focus on working on the business as opposed to working in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this example that you've given because it tells a story, right? If you don't look at the numbers, and again, it's not the most important thing, you know, we're not all in business just to make money. It's deeper than that, but we have to look at it. We need to still make a living. Yes. And, you know, if this now is allowing you to make the necessary changes that you need to make in the business. So numbers tell a story. They are critical to the success, and it's going to be imperative next year that we really all do. You know, if you're not sure about how to look at the numbers, grab a friend, grab somebody else in business and do them with a partner. Do them with a partner. Yeah.
Well, and I think something else that's really important is you can't be afraid to raise your prices either.
Exactly.
Right. I think that's a huge mindset thing for entrepreneurs. They're like I'm doing a 25% price increase. Right. And it's one of those things where, you know, some people would be like, oh, price increase.
I know, but
right.
There's never a good time to do it, but people are buying right now, right? Small business. I always say, don't be afraid. Everyone's like afraid to sell. It's never we shouldn't be selling right now. Well, you know, if you're serving, you're selling. Just come from a place of service. And if someone sees but I encourage you to do so. There's never a good time. And if you're serving.
And I think too, I think part of it is also the mindset of raising your prices. I think that's important as well, because we have this mindset, oh, I can't go above this certain price.
Right.
Well,
Right.
to be honest, the price hike I'm doing, even though it's 25%, is still well within what is considered a normal range. So I can hike it another 25%, and people are not going to, they're not going to even question it. They're going to be like, oh yeah, that's a good price, right? Yeah. And so the other thing I think is important too is that don't lower your prices.
No.
Add more value.
I 100% agree. Don't dilute your services. I can't go for a coffee at Tim Hortons and say, hey, can you give me that for $1? You know, I can't go for a massage and say, can you give me $20 off? And so, you know, be wary, put your antennas up, ladies and gentlemen, you know, people that are trying to dilute your services and not pay you what you're worth. Because there are people out there that certainly will. And like I said before, if you are being a leader in business and you have that professionalism, which, for example, you do with your business, people are going to buy from you. They will see the value and they will buy.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and the other thing too is, like, if you're finding people who don't want to pay for your services, then you need to change the type of person you're looking for. You know, look at a different target market that can afford your products and services. And I think that's important too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I say to go forward, when we talk about focusing on the future, to go forward, you got to go backwards. You know, bring any of your past experiences into it, your corporate experience, any past experiences of success, really talk about them and highlight them. You know, I was involved when we were doing on the disaster recovery for SARS. Remember SARS and the bird flu? You know, SARS encouraged all of us to start to shop online because we were afraid to go outside. And look at how far we've come now. Online shopping is an actual thing. So, you know, pull your past experiences forward into your planning for 2021.
So I know that you've got a workbook in the midst. So why
I do.
about it?
I'm so excited. So again, as we, you know, when crisis hit, I rechanged and restripped out my plans and decided to move my workbook, which I think I talked about the last time I was here, into 2021. So hopefully this spring. It's called Everything for the Everyday Entrepreneur. And whether you are new to business or a seasoned entrepreneur, there'll be lots of goodies in there. It's a tactical workbook, so there'll be some strategy, there'll be some worksheets that you can use, and things to really, you know, talk you through all of the different operations of business. And it will be fun. Be colorful, and it's going to be fun. There'll be some video series that go along with it. So stay tuned for April. If you'd like to get an early sneak peek, please, you know, I'd love you to sign up for my my news. To get the workbook out there.
So Claudine, you froze for a minute there. So can you give us where to get your workbook again?
Yes. So you can check me out at www.thepinkcoach.com, or if you'd like to join my mailing list, you can drop me a line at info@thepinkcoach.com. I'm on all social media under The Pink Coach, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, lots of fun for business. Please follow me, drop me a line, and I'll let you know when the workbook is coming out. And if you know, obviously, if you're sitting here and you're a business owner and you're looking to really ramp things up for 2021, I do offer a complimentary discovery session where you will walk away with actions that you can implement immediately in your business. So tailor-made solution-based coaching, no matter what industry you're in.
Love it. Thank you so much, Claudine. So this has been Claudine Pereira and Kim Thompson-Pinder on the Author to Authority podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the very next episode. Bye, everyone.